The creative endeavor of She series started in 2019 with our first book, the collection of short stories called She Speaks. Spread across the world, they come from different professional backgrounds, and this project aims to give a creative outlet to women's voices and their experiences in daily lives. They are homemakers, they are scientists, professors, engineers, community organizers, artists, and so on. And they all have a story to tell. The She series is a labor of love. It's a massive project spanning all 9 countries. The contributors are volunteers. They volunteer their time to coordinate the tasks of editing, proofreading, branding, marketing, and so on, everything that goes on into the publishing. As they say, necessity is the mother of invention. Hence, in 2020, it was a landmark year landmark year for She series. Our project lead, the multi-talented Brindarika Bose, who is with us right now, established Bose Creative Publishers in 2020. Under the umbrella of our very own publishing house, we present to you the newest edition of the She series, an invigorating book of flash fictions called She Reflects. The printed copies and ebooks of the same is available on Amazon US. Proceeds from this book will go to the nonprofits that work for women upliftment and children empowerment. To talk a little more about the book,
from 22 authors from all over the world is in the form of, we've actually made an analogy to the way rivers flow, and especially rivers in India, for example. The holiest river in India is the Ganges, or the Ganga. And it starts from the mountains in the Himalayas as Bhagirathi, and then acquires adolescence or certain rage, let's say, as Alaknanda, and then matures into Ganga.
I think as a journalist, you always know what you're writing. Right. You know the end, you know the start, and you know what's happening, and it's immediate. So when you're writing a print story, it needs to be published the next day. And then when I was doing television, it was more about producing the whole program, a 7 o'clock show or a 9 o'clock show. So you know what is to go in prime time, or if there's been a blast, or there's an author who's published a book, and then you're interviewing the person, so the points that is going to feature. It's all really, really planned. And when you look at fiction writing, one needs to think of an end, one needs to think of a start, and that way it was a learning process for me, really, because
I think it's very important for women to find their voice, through whichever medium appeals to them. Mm-hmm. And I think I've kind of noticed this thing about myself. I tend to, through the course of the 2 books that I've had the good fortune of writing with this team, I've realized that I tend to gravitate towards very strong women characters. I don't know why that happens, but I feel subconsciously it's because my mother is a very, she's always been a very strong guiding force in my life. She's been a working mom the entire course of my, childhood and early adulthood. So I think in some way, the women characters that I kind of relate to have probably been influenced in some way by my mom.
Recalling her grandmother and coming to terms with this rather troubling history, and finding that even though we like to believe that we've moved on, certain gender roles really haven't changed. One of the things that happens is her husband, who seems to be utterly besotted with her, still expects her to give something up for him. It's this idea that women need to sort of go out on a further limb, almost literally. So that's Bones. And the other one is, again, a mother and daughter story.
I think we'll keep that a secret now, Anna, for the reader to read it.
Actually, I just got back to work this week, so 1 week down. I had a 4-year gap. So I moved countries to join my husband over here, and then had a child. And just as I got ready to start getting back into the workforce, COVID-19. And so, I've had a very long gap, but I've had a very positive experience in that I was very lucky that my job search was a very easy one. And I think it's testament to the team that I've joined. I've joined in a bank again, in the banking sector rather. And there are a lot of women there. And so even though my manager is male, but I'll just share a little bit about the job search process when I was just before I even started applying. I read a statistic that women will not apply to a job unless they find that they're meeting at least 80 to 90% of the requirements, whereas men will apply at 40%. And given I've had such a long gap, at first I was a little nervous thinking, well, how do I explain that, right? What have I done in this time? But then I found the only person I really need to explain that to is myself, because
the story is called A Piece of the Sky. A sunny day, but the Kunjipallan family looked bemused in the dark confines of the solicitor's room. Only one pair of eyes seemed to understand the significance of the words in Amini's will. Omana had seen her sister-in-law's sad and searching eyes too often. She had been Amini's only confidant.
An integral part of their young days. With Sarthak and his family moving out of the city, frappe had lost all its meaning. 2 frappes, please, ordered Aradhya, smiling. When Sarthak informed Aradhya of his visit to Mumbai, she was ecstatic and wanted to relive all the moments that they had shared as best friends in college.
So, not that I'm, much into that genre, but my endeavor when I write anything is to just bring in that element of mystery and element of intrigue as, you're reading it. So I hope my stories will engage with the readers and they will like it.
I wrote that established me eventually as a writer was I gave voice to Phula. She was forced to get married at the age of 11. And how I helped her and all that. So I usually pick my stories from in and around my society.
Try to express the feeling of a woman. That means I live in a rural place. So I used to experience some kind of thing. That means where I work, the most of my students are below poverty line.
So writing these 2 stories for the book was a personal getaway for me. It was like going into a world and a space which otherwise doesn't exist in our day-to-day world. And the best part for me was that writing has always been a passion. It's been something I've wanted to do, and this was the perfect outlet, and where you could tap into your creativity, into your imagination, and you are being heard. I mean, what is more important than being heard?
The whole project idea was presented, and when I was chatting with so many members, I realized that here is a platform I could talk without being judged. So though the germ of this story, Vasa defined it, it is more about how the child was stepping into adulthood and was facing the reality. The small nuances I felt secure. That's the right word.
When I had to put pen to paper, it came. It was not something that I had kept or I had scripted or I had connected the dots, none of it. But it came. That's what I'm trying to say. It was in there and you tap into it. Yes. It didn't come out of nowhere. There are so many connections that has allowed the story to flow out of you. So that was amazing. That's an amazing feeling of, I'm able to create something.
For She's, it is not very different from what I'm doing. It's just the genre is different. My expression in the She series is in the story format, right? While my research is more academic in nature. One of my biggest stress points in my research is that Indian women are most qualified, and yet only the percentage of Indian women who actually work in the workforce is one of the lowest in the world.
Indian women do not work. And the big question is that is not work as in they work, which would not get defined, in the truest sense of what is economic labor. And you see the new ads which shows what Ma does, right? She's working from morning to evening, what every Ma does, right? But it doesn't get defined. My interest is more in terms of economic independence of Indian women, because we have historical factors of Stridhan and all those kind of the laws and everything. So the only power we have is education. And then realizing that education through an economic, outcome, where you're either paying your taxes, where you are earning a monthly salary, you have your own bank account, you have your own credit card. You don't think twice about buying a bag in a sale because you are negotiating something else for the family. I think that freedom for me is what my work is. And somewhere I've taken that also, most of my stories are also around that part of it. So that's
been Australia. Message to my readers is, she's phenomenal.
Hi, this is Brindarika Bose from Wohlen, Switzerland, and my message to all readers is, stay creative.
Hi, I'm Poppy Chaudhary and I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia. My message to our readers is, stay happy, right arm.
Hi, my name is Simona Khoshdas and I'm from Washington, D.C., USA. My message to all the readers is, look within.
Hi, my name is Keertana. I am from Baden, Switzerland, and my message to all the readers is, stay positive.
Hi, I'm Richa from Zurich, Switzerland, and my message to all my readers is, stay intuitive.
Hi, my name is Tanya Basu. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and my message to all my readers is, she is powerful.
Hello all, Justine Papneja from Washington, D.C., USA. My message is, be and stay resilient.
Hello everyone, this is Sindhu Sudhir from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. My message to our lovely readers is, shine bright, be the light.
Hi, this is Kamalika from Mumbai, India. My message to the readers is, stay home. Your home is in you, so stay you.
Hi, this is Munmun. I am from Jakarta, Indonesia. My message to all our readers is, keep exploring and keep learning.
I'm Ashwati from Mumbai, India, and my message to all you lovely people is, stay inspired.
Hi, this is Akila from Singapore. And my message to all of you at this time is, try and find happiness in little things. There is happiness in little things.
Hi, this is Tista Ghosh from Washington, D.C., and my message to our readers, wherever you may be, is, we shall innovate.
Okay. Hi, it's Korobi Hajarika from Assam, India. My message to all the readers is, stay happy.
Hi, this is Regina Sadhu from Basel, Switzerland. My message to all our readers is, stay smiling.